Students, welcome to my lecture on control systems. Today, I am planning to deliver a simulation in Scilab, and this simulation will be for the second order and the first order systems. So today, let us see how to simulate in Scilab. So using Scilab, how to simulate the second order and the first order responses. I will share my screen with you. Now, what we are going to do is, we are going to open up Scilab. For that, you have to type Scilab on cloud in the Google search engine. So after you type this, or if you type cloud.scilab.in into your URL, that is here in the address bar, even that will do. So let us go to the cloud. So we will go to cloud.scilab.in. Now here we are going to simulate a few things. First of all, let us see what will be the simulation looking like. So I have a code here, like we have a code s is equal to poly, that is polynomial 0 s. So we are simply defining the complex number, that is the complex frequency. You can also use s is equal to percent s here for that. So instead of this, we can use s is equal to percent s for defining the transfer function in s domain. Now I will take the natural frequency omega n equal to 4. I will comment this for loop right now, and we will understand what is the function of the for loop later. So for loop and end I will comment. Now let us see. I have defined a transfer function where the transfer function is syslin, defined by linear systems, a continuous transfer function where it is written as omega n square divided by s square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. So in the denominator you can see second order transfer function. Okay. Here I will remove this zeta and I will put various values, and we will see how the transfer function will be plotted for a step input. So I have defined the time axis now. So define a time axis here. So you can see that we have defined a time range for the step test. So the range of time is 0 to 5 with a step of 0.01. Means the time axis will have a resolution of 0.01 and it will be from 0 to 5 on the x-axis. So time axis is your x-axis. Now you are using the plot 2D function to plot the time response. So time axis, the variable t is the first argument in the plot TD. Now csim will simulate for a particular step input. So it will apply the step input and it will take the transfer function and will actually put the transfer function against time, that is against the time axis, and the input is step signal here, and the function you are using is plot 2D. Okay, then you are labeling the x-axis, which is time in seconds, and you are labeling the y-axis, which is y1, the amplitude, and title is step response. I will make it more clear, step response of second order system. Second order system. Okay. And then we have made a grid, A1, 110. So define a grid for the plot. Okay. Even if you don't define it, it's okay. So grid you can comment. Now what we will do is, we will vary zeta. Zeta is damping factor. So everybody knows what zeta is. I have taken a lecture on this. where zeta is called damping factor, damping factor, which actually reduces the vibrations in the system. But if you keep zeta is equal to 0, there is no damping and vibrations will continue with constant amplitude and constant frequency. And this transfer function is defined for omega n square, and omega n is Fourier, right? So omega n square will be 16 s square plus 2 into 0 into omega n into s. The value of zeta is 0, and let us see how it will look like. So execute it and you will get a response here like this. So see, as we have seen, the time axis is from 0 to 5 with a step of 0.5, right? And one resolution is here, which is 0.1. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 and 0.5, right? And it is extended till 5. And you can see the y-axis, which is amplitude. Now the omega n is actually, you are having the frequency on the time axis. You can measure the frequency on the time axis here, right? And you can see the amplitude, constant amplitude here, and constant oscillations where the damping factor is 0, right? So here the damping factor is 0 now. Is it okay? Clear with this? Now let us see the next case. What if I increase the damping factor and I make it 0.4 or 0.2 first? So what will happen if I increase the damping factor greater than 0 but I keep it less than 1? So execute it. And you will see that the oscillations are exponentially decaying in this case. When you increase the value of zeta, that is damping factor, the oscillations will exponentially decrease and the system will achieve steady state value after some time here. And the time it takes to achieve the steady state, this time is called as settling time. So you can see settling time here after 4.5 seconds. You can see roughly 4.6 or 4.7 seconds is the settling time here on this graph. So you can see the graph and you can plot various graphs here, and you can also download these graphs. Okay, close it. Now we can increase the zeta to 0.6 and see what will happen. See here, the damping has increased now and the system is actually, the settling time is less now. So the system has settled to a steady state value after 2 seconds, roughly 2.2 or 2.4 seconds exactly, to be exact. So here the system has achieved a stable output. It is steady state. Okay. And now let us see what will happen if I make zeta equal to 1. So zeta is 1. Now after execution we can see at zeta equal to 1 the system becomes critically damped. So there are no oscillations in the system and the system will achieve a steady state value after some time here. See, after 2 seconds roughly, the system is again achieving the steady state value. So as you increase zeta, the oscillations in the systems are going to reduce and they are going to decay and they are going to reduce. Now if I make zeta equal to 2, that is more than 1, then the system will become overdamped. So this is an overdamped system where system will take more time to achieve the steady state. So you can see here roughly even after 4.8 seconds or 5 seconds, the system has achieved a steady state value. Now what we will do is we will actually put this in a very good format. So I will be using a for loop now. So for zeta is equal to 0 to 2 in a steps of 0.1. So I will increase zeta with a step of 0.1 every time, and I will go till 2, and the time axis is 0 to 5, and then I will put the whole graph in the for loop so that you will be able to see everything as a function of zeta. So I will write zeta here. So it will take this zeta value. So the first zeta value it will take is 0, first zeta value in the for loop. So initial value is 0, and for 0 we know that it is a sine wave. Then it will take the zeta value as 0.1, then 0.2, then 0.3, and so on. So for these various values of zeta, it will plot all these graphs. So let us see the execution. So this is how it will look like now. You will have the first zeta value, which is 0, then increase the zeta value to 0.1, then increase it to 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 7, 0.8, and then 1. You can see at 1 the system is critically damped. There are no oscillations in the system at all here. And at zeta equal to 2, the system has become over damped. See, when there is no damping in the system, there is no damping, damping is 0, system has constant oscillations. It is called as undamped. Then when you increase the damping greater than 0 but keep it less than 1, then the system is called underdamped. And when system zeta value approaches 1, the system is called critically damped. And when zeta becomes greater than 1, the system is called overdamped. These are the various graphs for various values of zeta, and this is the second order response for a step signal. You can see the time axis and you can see the amplitude, how the amplitude is decreasing when you increase the value of zeta. So it is exponentially decaying, you can see here. If you join this and come below, so everywhere you can see a decay of amplitude. Okay, and students, you can note down this program. I will share this program with you in the Google Classroom, and this program you have to make use for simulating the experiments. Okay, and for the first order system, what you are going to do is you are not going to use any omega n and zeta. You are going to simply make use of a very simple first order system, like 1 upon, you can say, any system which is of the first order, s plus 1 or so, right? And you can simulate the step response for the same. So this is the first order step response, right? And let us see how it will look like. I will remove the end statement also. There is no for loop required here. See, this is a first order step response because the system is now first order, right? And you can see that at roughly t is equal to 5 or so, the system is trying to achieve the steady state value over here, right? You can see it, and we can simulate for various. See, if I take the inverse Laplace of this, you will get e raised to minus t, because it is 1 upon s plus a, and 1 upon s plus a inverse Laplace is e raised to minus at, which is e raised to minus t. So it is, you can see that for a step response. Now you apply step response to this. So it will become 1 upon s into 1 upon s plus 1. After applying partial fractions, you will be able to solve this, and it will become 1 minus e raised to minus t. So 1 minus e raised to minus t is simply the reverse image of e raised to minus t, right? So e raised to minus t is exponentially decaying, and 1 minus e raised to minus t is somewhat increasing. So if you look the graph in the reverse way, it will look somewhat like this, exponentially decaying, right? So this is the first order response, and you can exactly do these simulations on cloud, that is Scilab, cloud.scilab.in. So remember the URL cloud.scilab.in, and you can open this and simulate. This is the code. I will share the code with you, and you can simulate and post me the results in the Google Classroom. So you can type the code in the Word. You can first type the code inside your so this is the code uh, for the second order system, and you are going to keep omega n equal to 4. You can keep whatever, like, and zeta value you are going to vary, and this is for the second order system first, and you are going to execute it, right? So I'll copy this code, control C, so that I'll be able to send it to you later. So this code, we can take it as a reference for plotting the functions, right? So we can do various things here, and you can simulate in Scilab, and it's a very good tool. Remember that it is an alternative to MATLAB. MATLAB is somewhat expensive, and they do not offer this free online MATLAB, but free online Scilab is available. So this is a code that I am copying in the Word, and the next thing that I will do is I will just copy this code once again, and I will make it for the first order response. Thank you very much, students. So we are going to use this